Hey, good morning. We are at day 2 of RECOIL's CANCON event in glorious sunny Arizona, and the weather is absolutely stellar at the moment. In fact, we're appreciating this time of day because it's going to get hotter than balls this afternoon. So we are here at CANCON looking at all the latest and best in the suppressor world, and we've got a bunch of industry partners here showing off their wares, and it's a really good opportunity to come see what's new and innovative and best, and what is the cutting edge if you've ever wanted a suppressor. So, it would. Let me just introduce my co-host today. We have Tom Marshall, an
How's
editor
it
at
going?
Recoil, and we also have Dave Merrill, who is our editor for concealment and also our resident suppressor expert. Like, we all know cans because we shoot cans, but Dave's really the brains behind the outfit.
I'm super
So,
nerd about it.
super nerd.
Super nerd.
So, what have you guys seen so far here at CanCon Arizona that really tickles your fancy?
Ooh. Honestly, I did not realize what all we had in the VIP bag this year. There were some rumors floating around on the internet that there was not going to be a suppressor in this year's VIP bag, and anechoic swooped in and not only crushed that rumor, but offered perhaps the best suppressor package that we've been able to put into a VIP bag. Instead of picking one of their suppressors to include in the VIP bag, they included a one-time use code for each individual VIP, allowing them to go to anechoic's website and choose the suppressor of their choice out of anechoic's entire lineup as their free VIP suppressor. So I didn't hear about that until kind of the last minute, and I thought that was a pretty good thing that they were able to do.
So anything from like a 22 can up to what?
Yeah, they've got cans they've got like 338 cans, they've got some 556/30 cal cans, so it's any can from their entire lineup, VIP's choice.
Well, yeah, and we should actually point out that yesterday was VIP day. Today is Gen Pop day. So and for today you can just show up, pay $50 and come and shoot all day here. Yesterday we had a smaller VIP group in. It's only like 50 people. And so they had the opportunity to come and shoot everything on the line, just on a low pressure environment, and also got a hell of a swag bag.
Yeah.
You know, one of the cool things about like this is what they got in their bag, right? No, normally with the silencer, you can't just walk away with it. So they actually went and they PLA printed a can so you can like have it, but they also weighted it so it was the same weight. And feel the weight on that. It is pretty light.
You know, it's good. It's a good workaround, I think, but it's still a hell of a tease.
Yeah.
You know, given the stupid suppressor laws that we have in the United States and the transfer time, although that transfer time is getting shorter.
Absolutely. Well, actually, feel the real one. Transfer times are so short that they get hooked up with a dealer. Some of these people are going to apply for these silencers right now and then have them before the end of the weekend. So, like one of my personal friends put out 2 tax stamps the other day, both on a Friday, and he got one back on Monday and the next on Tuesday. Like our wait times
Is way down. The record I heard yesterday was one of the manufacturers here has a dealer who had a stamp come back for one of their customers in 6 hours. So the guy came in, filled out his paperwork, left the store, went to go to Home Depot, run some errands, and he got a phone call from the FFL saying that he was cleared. And the guy didn't believe him. He thought it was the guy at the FFL was joking with him, and they said, "No, come get your can." He got it in 6 hours.
That kind of leads to all kinds of like weird conspiracy theories. Like, what the hell was the ATF doing before if they can now process Form 4s in that amount of time? Like just a year ago, the wait time was about a year.
Yeah.
And now, what happened? Anybody got any insight as to what happened there?
You know, they always said it was the holdup was on the FBI side, and so maybe some kind of process cleared. I know the guys at the American Suppressor Association say that they've been working toward this for the last few years, so maybe they managed to smooth something out. But either way, it's good for us, right? And actually, and we've seen some evidence of this. The theory is if you have a silencer in the system and you've had it in there for 6-7 months, if you buy one right now, it'll get piggybacked on with your new one. And so
If you wanted an excuse to buy another can, then you just got one.
So I actually had that happen to me. I filed for a suppressor last September, October, and then filed for another one in like tail end of January, and they both came back within 30 days after filing the second one. And they came in like 2 days apart.
I think one of the things that they do is when a new one comes in, especially as an individual, I'm not sure how they are about trusts right now, that they look back and see if something else has been waiting, or somebody left paperwork under a coffee cup on a printer or something like that. But
have you ever had a tax stamp come back with like a coffee stain on it?
No, it'd be pretty cool though. Well, now that we don't get the physical stamps anymore, right? It used to be, they call it a tax stamp because you get like the physical postage stamp on there.
Yeah.
And then they switched to like a sticker, which I felt a little bit cheated by. And now you don't even get them at all. So, I mean, it's just electronic.
Yeah.
But it used to be like a licky stamp. And like people, like stamp collectors would collect NFA tax stamps.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think as well is one of the other obstacles to acquiring a can is now, whereas previously a $200 tax stamp was created initially in order to be cost prohibitive for the average person. Now, it's $200. I mean, I'll spend that going out in the evening with the missus.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, $200 in 1934, back when a
Oh, yeah.
full auto Thompson machine gun was like $140.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the cost adjusted for inflation in 200 or in 100
Bidenomics,
years?
in Biden bucks.
I don't even know about the last couple of years, but I know in like 2015 it would have been over $3,000. So
Yeah.
it's a lot. It definitely did start as just as a basically, I call it let rich people do as they choose and screw everybody else. And that's why it's the silencer industry really shrunk down. Started to come back in the 1980s. John Arthur Senior and Mitch Warbell, Military Armament Corporation. And it really wasn't until, I don't know, the Global War on Terror, mid-aughts, that then went, because, it used to be, it's for spies and biker assassins, and now it's like the kid from 2 blocks over who's in the Army just like has a Knight's NT4, and they're like, Jimmy's not a murderer, and it became just more common.
Well, so that's always been an interesting thing to me, because coming from across the pond, I know that there are some European countries where the cultural view of suppressors is very different than that. I think we are a victim of our own popular media in terms of how do we see suppressors portrayed in movies, as opposed to it being sort of sportsmanlike or gentlemanly to be shooting a suppressed rifle.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you're finding in a lot of the European countries now that the health and safety regulations are now such that if you shoot without a can, then, or say if you're a professional, say, game manager, for want of a better term, over there, and if you're shooting without a can, then your employer can be held accountable by the government for not protecting your hearing.
Wow.
And I think
It's kind of complete shift.
Yeah.
We've seen somewhat of a shift like that, whereas the Department of Defense wants
Yep.
all of SOCOM suppressed by the original plan was 2025. Don't think they're going to meet that, but then all big Army by 2035, which to me means a lot of integrals, a lot of integrated. But not only, so you can kind of look at it in a cynical way and in a military way, and it doesn't matter because they both work out. You can say, okay, they're tired of hearing loss claims. Well, we're still going to have explosions that aren't our own. We're still going to have hearing loss. But the command and control ability, when you're on the ground fighting, that you can communicate with your team without everyone having to have of course, they're going to have electronic ears too, but it just makes everything easier.
Yep.
Also, then who are the good guys? The good guys sound like and the bad guys sound like AKs and unsuppressed guns.
Yep.
It's just it's a force identification, it is safety, it's communication, and it's just keeping your dang hearing. What is interesting in a military context is that prior to the 1970s, they thought that the more you're exposed to loud noises, the less they bothered you, which is true.
It is
is
because
true.
you lose it
But
entirely.
they thought you just got used to it.
Yeah.
And they started in World War I exposing horses to loud noises so the explosions wouldn't bother them anymore. And then at some point they went, what? And then they were like, oh, we're blowing everyone's ears out. And that's when they started doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's been a long road, but I mean, once the military shifts to everything suppressed, I think everything is just gonna be suppressed.
Yeah, it would be great if cans were treated as the safety equipment that they are and was taken off the NFA entirely. But given the the pace that government works, I can't see that happening in my lifetime. But nonetheless, as we said, $200 isn't that much of a barrier anymore. But what has happened is that it's spawned a whole lot new technology. There are a ton more new cans coming out that have baffle technologies that are not seen before, and I think it's to everybody's benefit. Increased competition is to everybody's benefit.
I mean, that is, like, if we can say there's been a benefit to the tax stamp, it's that if it was always open, there'd be no space for small companies, because it would have been Ruger and Remington and everyone else just had silencers. When you look at silencers in Europe and you look at silencers across the world, they can be pretty crude, because we are the only country where you buy them and you own them for life. You have to have them forever. The resale market on used silencers is
have you ever bought a secondhand can?
Yeah, never. And you're like, that's pretty questionable. And so you're buying it for life, and so it encouraged us to have the best sounding, most durable, most advanced silencers in the world, which, we expect Americans to do anyway, but it was
America.
It was an artificial constraint that was meant to hold us back, that in a way we turned into a superpower.
Yeah, but there's a downside to that as well, in that everybody wants a full auto rated can, even though they don't have a machine gun. And the whole technology that goes into that really, it creates over-engineered cans for a lot of people's uses.
That's true.
And they're heavier than normal, heavier than they need to be. And so now I think as well, the point you made earlier, Dave, is that now we're seeing greater innovation and more specialization within suppressors, so that you can have a super light hunting can that, it's not full auto capable, but who cares? Because you're only going to fire half a dozen rounds through it at a time.
The combination of $200 not being $200 anymore, and with 48-hour, certainly sub 30-day turnarounds means that we can specialize a lot more. It actually brings me to one of my favorites that I've seen here at CanCon, is this right here from Ren Metalworks. This is,
that's a hyper specialized can.
Yes, it is.
For those listening, it is from Ren Metalworks. It is a 4570 lever action integral. There is nothing more specialized than an integral silencer. And, with the turnaround times, people buy these 30 cal cans, they want to put it on everything, and they get their second can, it's probably going to be a 5.56, but like an integral used to be a fifth purchase, still can be, just a lot more people might get to that fifth purchase.
Have you shot that yet?
I have shot it. And I'll tell you, I came across this because Tom came up and said,
You gotta
words
shoot this.
that I never thought I would hear.
Yeah.
You gotta shoot this 4570. And I'm like, who am I talking to?
Yeah.
And it is a system. So they said the silencer starts from the beginning. It's not ported. Goes all the way up. It's a 10-inch barrel. The shroud makes it 16 inches, so it's a single stamp gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they were shooting 550 grain subsonics out of it. And
It's a better part of an ounce.
Yeah.
yeah, and I couldn't help thinking about shooting a rabbit with it and turning it into inside out and backward. I don't even know. But it is pretty wild. Now you put like a Steiner or a Sig Smart Optic on here, and then we have like the future of the 1950s today. I mean, it looks like a laser gun.
When I shot it, it felt like shooting a 300 blackout in terms of recoil. Stupid quiet. Not as unwieldy as it probably looks on camera.
It has a bit of a blunderbuss kind of feel to it. Like if you had an eye patch, you could pull it off too.
Damn.
I mean, 4570 is not exactly a long-range cartridge anyway, so... And I guess you can suppress a shotgun, but not as good as that. Not yet.
Here we go. Okay. So I can get one of these out. Dang. There we go.
There we go. That dinosaur killer.
550 grain hardcastle head. Yeah, that's going to be...
Your next home defense gun.
Yeah, I mean, what could you hide behind in order to stop that? I'm not sure if there's any structure inside of the average home that's not going to...
I mean,
stand up.
if you live above an appliance factory, and you gotta take out a burglar. I think that
Crazy.
one of those is for.
Awesome. So one of the things that I saw, I mean, yeah, that's one of your favorite things here. One of the things that I saw that caught my eye was Dead Air now have a version of the Mojave 9, but it's full auto rated and it's for rifles. And that is another benefit of CANCON, is that you come and see products that are not quite ready for release yet. This one that I think is going to be released in August, but you can still get hands-on with it. And I've shot their Mojave 9 quite a bit and was really impressed. It's a super, super quiet 9mm cam, which you can also use on like 350 Legend if you want to. I shot it on 5.56 and got my wrist slapped by Dead Air saying, no, please don't tell anybody you can shoot it on 5.56, but it does work.
But you didn't tell anybody. So,
No, don't tell anybody. Okay, we'll keep that between ourselves. But the thing about this is the baffle stack in it is unlike anything else that's out there on the market. It's I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can you zoom in on that? But it is 3D printed and it looks like gazing into a wormhole in space. So you really don't want to look at this cam if you've taken any mushrooms. But we're not allowed to say that either, are we?
Sorry, we won't tell anyone.
Yeah. But it is weird. It is also a very low back pressure design, but now instead of being 3D printed titanium, it's now 3D printed. What the hell is it? Sawyer 282.
Yeah.
It's a super high nickel content, super steel. It's like Inconel times 10, and then that's going to be available, like I said, in August. But you can shoot it here at CANCON.
And hearing it for yourself really makes a difference. The video's no comparison.
You mentioned 3D printed baffle stacks. I had somebody ask me yesterday, you know, what's next? What's the future of suppressors? The best answer I could come up with was the advent of 3D printed internals. I feel like from the very first generation of suppressor designs up until 4 or 5 years ago, pretty much everything out there was a variation on the baffle stack design. And I think in the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of radical changes to internal geometry for cans and the ability to disrupt gas flow and compartmentalize it differently. I mean, what do you think's coming? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, you can 3D print like a stupid baffle stack. You can 3D print an awful monocore. So it's like 3D printing and like the know-how in engineering. I think Surefire RC3 kind of showed that.
Yeah, and
greatly.
that's a combination of both additive and old school manufacturing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And also supercomputer time.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of things with hypersonic flow that's really counterintuitive, like sharp edges and stuff that helped us with rocketry and missiles. You basically do what they do with rockets, and do the opposite thing to disrupt the gas, and you have a good silencer.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it looks like our crowd is filling up. We've got a whole bunch of people here ready to go shoot. So let's actually see. Let's camera guy. Can we go take a look? Let's go see some of these folks. Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing? Welcome to CANCON. Good to see you. Anything out here that you really want to go see? Want to get hands on? Want to go shoot?
You know, it's his first time getting to shoot suppressed, and
Really?
he's really excited for it.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Did you check out that 4570? Dave, bring that over here. We highly recommend you go shoot this. It's like a pellet gun, but singing almost an ounce of lead at the time.
We were just talking about how we need a 4570 to suppress.
Everyone needs a 4570 that's suppressed.
Exactly.
Did that start out with, you know?
We've got a Henry version, we've got a Marlin version. So they're pretty much agnostic as to what gun it goes on, but it's awesome suppressed back.
With
Yep.
the side gun.
You should go talk to them, for sure. But anyway, don't let us hold you up anymore. I think we're moving in now, so
We just opened the gates now.
have at it, guys. Hope you have a great time.
There for 5 minutes.